Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and boy do I have a obscure model kit today. I have the high-grade Cho Mashin Ryujinmaru, which comes to us from the Wataru TV show. I want to say this is from the third series. It came out in the late 90s, just based on the design of it. And what's interesting about this kit is, as far as I am aware, this was actually a Japanese web exclusive with Bandai. And what's interesting is usually with those web exclusive models, they tend to have very minimalist packaging, very, it's like blue and white, just simple, non-colored, usually only in Japanese because it's obviously through Bandai Japan. But right away, you'll notice that we have the full bilingual packaging in English and in Japanese. It's obviously in full color as well. As far as I know, this is like full-on retail packaging. So if any of you grew up playing the TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine as it was called overseas, you might remember Keith Courage in the Alpha Zone, and that is actually where the Ryujinmaru actually comes from. This was, like I said, from one of the later series and is the big upgraded version of him. I don't remember the name of his basic guy. They don't actually have the Ryujinmaru in the games. There was something else. I don't remember. It's been a while. So, let's see here. We've got... The sword is going to be, actually, I was looking at the instructions, so there's not a whole lot of stickers, which is always a plus. You'll notice that the sword here is one of the few pieces in black, and it's actually going to be one of the only ones that gets a lot of stickers. There were a few stickers here and there, but that's going to be the predominantly spot where they're going to go. Good sized sword too. We have an included base. That's nice to see. Some of the inner working parts. Lots of white pieces. A duplicate runner. More assorted darker black pieces. Looks like a duplicate sprue there. I'm not seeing any polycaps. Maybe they were in there. So this is kind of neat. They have the gemstones that are going to go on there. I don't know if those are considered the stickers or not. So rather than have the Hirameki shiny gold chromed parts, we have kind of an off yellowish metallic. One of the things I love about these kinds of kits is just the colorfulness of them. Lots of bright primary colors. Some more of that metallic yellow, the reds, the blues. And we're looking at a total of 13 stickers. That is pretty reasonable. And some kind of metal tubing. Or not metal, plastic tube. Those look to be the shoulder pads. The base. I'm going to save you the excitement of looking at all the individual sprues. They're not too exciting. Alright. I gotta say, it's definitely a unique design. The Blade King sword. Yeah, see right here, you can see most of the sticker work is actually going to go on the sword, but that's okay. I was afraid the sword was going to be like white and we was going to have to put all that on there. Now, out of curiosity, are we not using any of these parts? Because that's always a good sign that we've got something further coming down the line. Nope, doesn't seem like it. Yeah, this is full-on bilingual, so... I mean, it doesn't look that complex. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. Yeah, here we go. We got the whole thing about the background of the show. 51 episodes. All episodes are distributed on various streaming sites as of February 2022. Did you guys know that? I did not know that. I found this show very episodic, and I'll be honest, it was kind of boring. It was definitely a product of its time. If anything, it reminded me of things like Ryu Knight, some of the other kind of isekai fantasy, travel to another world, you know, Escaflowne. Well, Escaflowne was a bit more serious than this, but yeah. I'm curious how it turns out. I bet the wire is going to be for the tail. That's my guess, at least. All right, give me a sec. We'll put them all together. We'll see how it turns out, right? Hopefully cool. Okay, we got our Ryujinmaru all finished up here, and I am particularly pleased with it. Number one, price for the size I thought was fairly reasonable. Looking around online, it seems that that's pretty much the going rate about what I paid for it, so I'm pretty pleased there. Posability, not too bad. Then again, I'm used to building all of the very limited and stiff Bandai Entertainment, you know, Hong Kong or whichever branch makes all of the SD Gundam stuff these days. So in that regard, it's not the worst, it's not the best. It has a little ball joints, kind of like the SD stuff in the arms. Legs are a little bit more stable. As I was saying earlier, the bulk of the stickers are actually going to be there on the sword. I do like the little gems that were included. I thought that was a cool touch. These wing booster things are just absolutely ridiculously large. And as I was saying before, the action figures, I think, whoop, see, he's got those little SD style ball joints. Can I even put it back in? There we go. So, having legitimately looked into the pricing of some of the, what are they, NX Edge or whatever they're called, I've always liked the designs of the Wataru machines. I do appreciate the fact that he comes with the stand, although he doesn't work the best on it. There we go. The trials and tribulations of trying to get these things all set up for the camera when you don't have a professional setup. In case you're curious, with our traditional Gundam, a 1/144th regular size Gundam, who's missing his knee, I noticed. Okay, that's odd. Don't know where that went. It's definitely a little bit on the smaller side, so I think this feels like a good, hefty size. I want to say that it's a fair amount larger than the Plamax Max Factory plastic kits. It's definitely bigger than the Bandai action figures, collector's figures, whatever you want to call them. I know they've had some interesting models put out in that line, and I think just because of the way that the joints are designed, this is going to end up being one of those more kind of display pieces than it is, you know, one of those that you're actively fiddling around with and posing. I know he's got some stuff and some special hands if you want to actually have him be able to grasp his sword with both arms, or do the whole Gaogaigar, you know, smashing his arms together to shoot some kind of big beam. So there is that. Oops. And there is posability in these crazy giant shoulders as well, so you can get them a little bit better out of the way, I think. Oh, and the tail. The tail I thought was a really nice touch, the way they had the two-part pieces for each of the sections rather than having stickers, considering that probably would have been the easier way, but you know, more economical when you think about it. Unfortunately, the wire does leave it kind of limited in terms of posability. That's the tip of the tail that doesn't like to stay on. That's an issue I have with most of these wire-type models. So I think if you want something really with a different visual style to it, definitely the different body silhouette shape than what we're used to with the traditional, you know, Kunio Okawara style Gundam humanoid body, it's definitely going to be a looker. And I think it's going to stand out if you have a collection of giant robot and mecha models. So something to keep an eye on, something to keep an eye out for. And if you remember playing Keith Courage in the Alpha Zone as well, maybe for that nostalgic value there while you're at it. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.